Hello, everybody. It is Matt and Jennifer Lucas with the Franchising Company back for another edition of our Zor Zoom series. Today, we are excited to bring you Sparkle Squad. And so, as we start diving into Sparkle Squad a little bit further, if you like what you're hearing, make sure to click the link below or shoot me a text at 270-215-2844. We'll get with the team, make sure your market is still available, and go through some next steps. So, with that out of the way, ladies, if you don't mind, do you care to just introduce yourself and talk to us a little bit about Sparkle Squad?
Great. Well, thank you so much for having us. Excited to be here today. My name is Sharon Kupak. I'm VP of Development for Happiness Brands, which is our parent company. Been in franchising about 28 years, so a really long time. And along with me is Dory. Dory, you can introduce yourself.
Morning, you guys. My name is Dory Marangioni. I am Director of Franchise Development here at Happy Nest and working specifically on Sparkle Squad. I am super excited to work with Jennifer and Matt again. I've worked with them in the past and can't wait to keep going.
It's great.
Well, glad to have you guys here. And I'm super excited about this brand. There are some seriously different, I don't even know what the word is. It's different. So you know what? Why
Yeah.
don't you guys just tell us about it?
Yeah. So what I love about this brand is Chris Stone is our founder, took a very pedestrian, what I would call a pedestrian kind of just old-fashioned industry of window cleaning and just elevated it. And we made it super efficient by cleaning windows from the ground up 6 stories using fiber water-fed poles. We go up 150 feet cleaning gutters using cameras and screens, so it's much safer. Those are sort of the cool factor, the technology. We use water filtration systems that are built into our proprietary vehicles. So we have some really neat technology that helps breed efficiencies for our owners to be able to get in and get out safely and make profit in their business.
So, anything under 6 stories, no ladders are needed.
Yep, and I would say that's 95% accurate. I'm super transparent individual, so I will always say I'm not going to say you're never going to get on a ladder because you will, but it's more to get where you need to go than it is to clean something, right? You might have to get over something or around something. So, yeah, so it's anything 6 stories or less, think glass or pressure washing. So when you think about opportunity, and in this model, what we say to our candidates is residential is cash flow, commercial prints cash. Okay, so you
I
have
love
two
that.
areas, right? So residential people pay, you get your windows cleaned, you pay your service provider. Commercial, you invoice, right? But commercial is higher margin. The technicians are more stable there for a longer period of time. Typically, the job is larger, so it's a little bit more profitable generally. So when you think about commercial, you think about hotels like Marriott Courtyards or Holiday Inn Expresses. Think any assisted living facility. They don't build those as high rises because there's elderly people in those buildings, right? Think office medical buildings, hospitals, universities, storefronts, restaurants, banks, car dealerships, like anything, parking garages, graffiti removal, municipality buildings, like
Oh, graffiti removal. Okay.
anything
Hmm.
that you can pressure wash, or like even think about the drive-through at the bank where there's a lot of oil vehicles are waiting, that service that we provide. So we have 4 service lines in our model: windows, gutters, house wash, and pressure wash. So we do the facade of a home or a building, and then pressure wash, and then holiday lights. And that's both residential and commercial.
Okay.
So first of all, it's not seasonal because it's all
Correct.
you, correct. So that's what a lot of people immediately say is this is a seasonal business, but
Hmm.
not seasonal. But go back to this job pod technology. Tell us a little more
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah. Let me just go one step further with the seasonality thing before
Okay.
and I'll have Dory talk about the job pod. because she got to hang out with it in Homedale, New Jersey, which is where they do training. But with the seasonality, if you are in a northern state, which remember this brand was founded in Canada, so it's colder in Canada than it is anywhere in the US, right? And that can be a year-round business for sure. But if you don't enter into like December with what we call route work, which you'll have a problem because holiday lights ends the first week in December, hard stop, right? So you need what we call route work, which is storefronts, lobbies, restaurants, car dealerships. You never see a dirty car dealership, ever. Doesn't matter what time of year it is. As long as it's above freezing that day, you can clean that glass. But you need that to kind of carry you through. It's a little bit different. Dory and I are both based out of Florida, so our seasons are a little backwards, right? But there is slower periods in Florida where it's a little bit seasonal, if you will. But it is a 12-month business. You just have to time it correctly, right? Which is how we help.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dory, maybe you can touch on our very cool job pod.
Yeah, the job pod is amazing. It is what we call our service vehicle, and everything that you need to complete our core services is included inside of the job pod. And so we have a manufacturing facility at Happy Nest. It is in Homedale, New Jersey. So that is, the first benefit of working with Happy Nest is that the van is actually outfitted by our internal team members. It's not a third party that's working on putting together the van. But we start with the water filter. It's called the W1. It has 4 filters that filters regular tap water through, takes out all of the minerals and particles, and makes it 0 parts per million. So essentially, when you wash the windows, there are no minerals in the water. Therefore, no watermarks get left on the windows. And so we have that system internally. Along with that, we have a 200-gallon water tank inside of the vehicle as well. And so you can filter the water at your home, at your storage facility, and already have filtered water ready to go when you get on a job site. You can also plug right into the customer's house and do it there. So there are multiple ways that you can get clean water to start the job right away. We also have all of the gutter cleaning equipment, the camera. It's all included in the job pod as well, along with the interceptor, which is how we collect the gunk out of the gutters. In addition, we have the pressure and soft washing machine as well in there. And so when you join, it is an upfront cost to pay for all of the equipment, which is fantastic. It includes everything, all of those big pieces of equipment, and even the small ones that you don't think about, like microfiber towels and squeegees and the screen cleaner. It's really cool.
So, question to the gunk that you're pulling out of these gutters, right? Or
Yeah.
potential wastewater. I don't know. Is
Yep.
there a proper way that you have to dispose of this? Is it just throwing it in a trash can? Like what are we doing
That's
with
a great question. Yeah, so it depends, right, a lot on where the home is. If you are in a more rural area with woods in the backyard, the customer might be okay with you dumping it right there. There are also common green spaces in communities that allow that type of dumping. But the vacuum, it sucks it up into the interceptor and it's on a tilt. And so it's very easy to, tilt that machine out, get everything into a bag so you can dispose of it.
The vehicle is built for non-mechanic and non-lifting technicians and non-chemists. So that was really an attractive feature when Chris was acquired by Happy Nest Brands, because this brand had uh, been working up in Canada since 2012 and franchised since 2018. So it isn't like we just launched Sparkle Squad and it had never been used or validated. Nobody had ever experienced it. It was already a proven model, which is why we wanted to acquire it and incubate it here in the US. But what he got was our engineers. And so his task was to sit and think, if I could do it all again, what do I want in that vehicle? how would I make it easier? So it's literally a choreographed vehicle for efficiency. So everything in there is built for ease, and better than 50% of the technicians and probably 30% of our owners are female. So nothing gets lifted. Everything comes out of ramp. Everything is easy to, if an O-ring comes off or a leak, it just gets retightened. Like it's super easy to operate, which I think gives a lot of the candidates a lot of confidence.
Well, not only that, it seems like going back to being more efficient, you can probably do jobs faster and more so,
Right,
and hence make
right.
more money because you're completing them and doing more, right?
Well, minutes and seconds are dollars and cents in this. So when I say choreographed, I'm not even kidding. Literally, there's documentation. The tech turns the key off. He opens the door, goes to the left, goes to the back of the job pod, does this, that, and literally it's choreographed because that's what he spent years perfecting was when you shave off 5 minutes or you shave off 10 minutes, that's just bottom line profit, literally bottom line profit to the owner. So, and that's what always drove him to excellence.
So that's like extremely impressive, right? How are you guys getting the work?
So, great question. Residentially, we have an incredible marketing team as part of Happiness. Happiness is known for their marketing efforts. We do all of the centralized media, digital media for the owners, along with what they're doing locally, which is like doing things like door hanger signs, local events, things like that. Those drive together and create demand. And those leads go through their website, which are handled in our case through what's called the Jungle, which is our call center, which supports the Canadian version, which is Elite Window Cleaning and Sparkle Squad. And either somebody can book their own job right through the website, so they don't even have to talk to anybody, touch anybody. They book it. They get their price, transparent price. They book it on the calendar. The Jungle takes it, validates it, sets expectation, confirms it, does the whole thing. Or it'll go through a web form or a phone call, and that goes to the Jungle. The Jungle manages about 50% of those, and the owner has some ownership in that as well. So the leads residentially come in that way, but commercial is really relationship driven. So that would be an owner or a salesperson. Lots of love, lots of support, lots of hand holding for sure. Lots of training around that. But commercial, it's very difficult for marketing to be effective, sending a
Sure.
postcard to a building and hoping it gets to the right person that buys window cleaning, right?
Yeah.
So chamber networking, meeting with property managers, commercial realtors, builders, post-construction is huge in our market. So that needs to be relationship focused. But I will tell you, your competition in that area is Bucket Bob, Chuck in a truck. And what we have is what I coin the trifecta effect. We're safer, we're more efficient, which makes us less disruptive and more cost effective so we can charge less. So we're much more competitive, and it's sort of a numbers game. The more quotes they put out, the more jobs they get. It boils down to that, frankly. And then
And
once you get a property manager, it just kind of snowballs from there.
you barely touched on the sales and the marketing and the in-house call center, but they also do a lot of the customer service as far as reminders and follow-ups and all of that. So to take that off of
Yeah.
the customer's plate, which is
That's
a
nice.
big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they do. They do all of the follow through to schedule future services. They take all incoming calls residentially for owners, unless the owner gives their phone number out. So they'll handle all of that. So any changes, questions, concerns, compliments, they do all of that. They're super supportive and they're really good. And I'll tell you, Chris already had the Jungle with a lead, and there was no reason to rock the boat because they're amazing. They're really good at what they do.
Do you does the owner need a warehouse facility, or is that up to their discretion, for the vans and the equipment and stuff?
Dory, you want to take that one?
Yeah, that's a great question. So they don't necessarily need a warehouse. Storage is very minimal in this business. And so the products that we use, they all do have a shelf life. You won't want to keep too much on hand, so no need for like a large storage facility for that. Where a storage facility might come in handy is storing holiday lights. And so we install our own holiday lights and we do take down at the end of the season. We will put a tag on it with the customer's, address and put it in storage for the year until next when it's time to reapply the holiday lights to the house. And so some of our franchisees keep those in totes inside of their garage if they have room, or some prefer to have a small storage unit where they can keep extra supplies.
On the holiday lighting side, I'm assuming you are on a ladder more for that than
Oh, yeah.
that.
Yeah, and it's
Sure.
priced for that too.
Perfect.
And
Okay.
so
And
the way that, go ahead, Sharon.
Sorry, I was going to say there's specific training that we provide. In September, there's about 6 weeks for the first season that the owner goes through holiday lights training. There's about a 6 week online training, meetings weekly, very focused on the safety side of this and just the logistics of doing holiday light sales. And then they go to Homedale for 2.5 days and they literally are practicing. So the owner or the GM or and their lead tech will go and learn how to do it. The first year we kind of ease them in 15, 20 jobs because most of the time, because it's such a truncated season of the end of October through the first week in December, they're overlaying their core services of generally, if they're in a northern state, it's gutter season, right? So it's a little crazy. So we kind of ease them in 15, 20 jobs, and then the next year it's game on. So, yeah.
So for a mature location, what do you have kind of a breakdown on, holiday lights make up 20% of the overall business, or you have targets in mind that you're wanting franchisees to hit for each of the services?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, Sparkle Squad is new, right? We
Yeah.
launched it. I launched it out September of 23, brought in our first owner and two owners, 12 hours apart in February of 24. So, and this is July of 25. So we have 49 owners in 17 states. So everybody is young. It is obviously more seasoned with elite window cleaning, but in the States, it's young. I would say just big picture, we want commercial to be better than 50% of their business by the time they're mature. 32% system-wide commercial right now because owners are going after it hot
Sure.
and heavy day one, which is smart because
Yeah.
residential will kind of flow. Commercial is you want to get out there as quick as you can. The different service lines, Matt, are really going to be based on the owner's concentration and their focus. There are some owners. I have an owner in Austin, actually, great guy. He goes out there, he has a window job. He sells a pressure washing driveway. Like, I don't even know how you upsell that. You know, like, that's an insane upsell to me. Not even interior windows. Like, let's go right for the driveway, which is amazing because it's high margin, right? Like, it's what that owner or their technicians, which you comp them for upselling, what they want to focus on.
Yep.
If it were me, I would go hard on holiday lights because the margin is very
Sure.
attractive. I'll say that.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
No, I've seen that in the past.
Mhm.
What about the initial investment? I don't think we touched on that yet, have we?
Yeah. Dory, you want to take that?
Yeah,
Initial
initial
investment?
investment, we're looking at 160 to 185 roughly for one territory. So uniquely included in that initial investment is going to be your first full year marketing, which includes the centralized digital media, right? The online marketing plus local marketing collateral. So things like your home show setup, you get a mascot costume, a 15-foot inflatable waiver that you can put at commercial jobs. It's really really eye-catching, of course. Comes with all of the lawn signs, the door hangers. You pay that up front. You also pay for your equipment package up front. So everything that is included in your job pod. Now, most of our franchisees do start with 2 territories. And the franchisees who started with 1 have both already come back and purchased a second territory. When we're looking at the initial investment for 2 territories, the only duplication in fees is going to be the franchise fee, which for your second territory, we discount 50%. So our franchise fee for 1 territory currently is $50,000. And so if you were to add a second territory, it's an additional $25,000, which in the grand scheme of this type of investment is not huge. So that is why it is really great for our franchisees to have that opportunity to start with 2, protect their future growth. And then, of course, we don't need to go far and wide to get new revenue. We can go really deep with our customers because of the multi-service lines that we offer.
That's the part that I love the most. I talk to candidates all the time about being able to stack brands, especially in the home services space. It's a good way to really grow. And when you have that opportunity under a single brand, it makes it even better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
you think about acquisition costs, right? You think about you've already paid to acquire the window customer. They're paying somebody to do the other services. It should just be you, right?
Yep.
And that's how you build a multi business.
Yep.
And additionally, you guys do allow for your owners to start semi-active or semi-passive with a general manager in place, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I would say to you that we are extremely selective in that. That is not just a gimme.
Okay.
Out of the 49, we have approved 4. So that's how selective we are. Big criteria has to be met there, but we do have an intentional playbook on how to support a semi-absentee owner that would hire a GM from day 1. And their role is to build the business on behalf of the owner. The owner's role is to strategize and manage the GM and manage the P&L, and then making sure that they're inspecting what they expect. Like their investment in time is to inspect what they expect, right? So it doesn't mean they can be absent. They need to be engaged because they need to make sure the strategy is there. So as I and Dory and the team evaluate, it's making sure that that person has not only the finances, because it's a long game, and the GM comes out of profit, right? Because we're not assuming that somebody else is going to run their business for them, and that they know how to really drive a GM to success. So,
And how many, aside from the GM, how many employees are needed?
2 to start, 2 technicians.
And I'm looking at my notes. I have a big question mark to ask you. You guys, they're able to offer benefits or health insurance to their employees?
Yeah, so Happiness does have a program with all of our brands. If the owner, if the business, the owner has 2 people that are interested in health benefits, they can participate. It's a good, it's like a boutique healthcare program. You can pick and choose and itemize what you like, but 2 people have to want it. So it can be like the owner and an employee, or 2 employees. So if they did have a GM, as long as somebody else was engaged and wanted a part of it, they could do that as well. Sure.
Can we get on that?
Yep.
All right. Well, so super efficient, business to business, business to consumer, no brick and mortar needed.
Yep.
Only 2 employees. I love this brand.
Yeah, I do too. So if you want to check to see if your market's still available, it is still a new brand as of this recording. Click the link below or send me a text 270-215-2844. We will get with the team, make sure it's available, and talk through the next steps.
Thank you, Sharon and Dory. Hopefully we'll be working with you with some of these new candidates soon.
I'm sure we will be. Thank you
Looking
so
forward
much.
to it.
Thank you both.
Bye, guys.
Talk soon.
Bye.
Hey there, Jennifer and Becky. We see you eyeing that franchise. We love it too.
Don't be afraid to reach out with questions. We'll never share your info.
So let's talk more about this one or any others that you've got your eye on.